flying from London, it's a 13.5-hour flight to Tokyo. And we were flying business class with British Airways. But aboard this old 787 aircraft, some of us would be flying backwards. Just look at this middle seat. At night, when this tip-up seat is down, those flying backwards have to climb over to go to the bathroom. Surely not a good design, but the service was excellent. And just before landing, we saw Mount Fuji. We've just landed in Tokyo. I can't believe it. We're going to explore Japan, and I'm going to take you with me. Our Japan Uncovered trip with Wendy Wu Tours will start in Osaka. As we were about to take off from Tokyo, the ground crew saluted, bowed, and then waved, which would be our first taste of Japanese politeness. Not long into the flight, we were thrilled to have an even closer view of snow-capped Mount Fuji. After the 53-minute flight to Osaka and a taxi ride to the high-rise hotel, we went out on our own, as it was too early to check in. The metro was easy to use, as the ticket machine was also in English. Our carriage was richly decorated with adverts, with a pink flavour. But it wasn't until we got out that we realised we had been in a women-only carriage. Fortunately, the Japanese SIM installed on our mobile helped us to find our destination. This is the Umeda Sky Building. It stands 173 metres tall and is one of the 20 most spectacular buildings in the world. That's according to the British publishing company Dorling Kindersley. It's the only landmark in Japan rated with landmarks such as the Sagrada Familia in Spain or the Taj Mahal in India. You take the elevator to the 35th floor, then continue upwards in glass bridges with escalators crossing the atrium space up to the circular observation deck 4 floors higher. They call it a floating garden observatory, and the 360-degree views of Osaka from the top are amazing. This little boy is making a model of it. Back on the metro, we went to see a well-known landmark and popular tourist attraction. The Glico Running Man is famous in Osaka. The 1935 sign advertises one of Japanese favourite snack biscuits made by Glico. The giant neon sign depicts a runner on a blue track, derived from Glico's first product, which was said to give you the energy to run 300 metres. Osaka has a vibrant food scene with something to suit everyone. Our tour company warned us that it will be busier than expected, with crowds of tourists and Japanese people. So we had dinner at the hotel with the rest of our party of 28 and our guide Yuki, who said you must try the toilet. Japanese toilets have got to be unique. This is the one in our hotel, and the toilet seat is heated constantly. When we spoke to the guide about this, she said, oh, if you want to adjust it, contact reception. The other thing is these controls over here. On the top you've got the flush control, the light flush control, or the eco flush control, or if you want to oscillate. And then in front you've got the Japanese equivalent of a bidet with a rear, a soft up front, you can adjust the pressure and the position. And as soon as you get off the loo, it flushes. Sometimes it flushes while you're sitting on it. Good night.
We are leaving.
The following morning, our wonderful guide Yuki greeted us on the coach with a friendly good morning.
Ohayo gozaimasu, ladies and gentlemen. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning.
We've got an hour's drive to Nara to visit a very special temple. Behind me is the biggest wooden building in the world, and it houses the largest Buddha in the world. The size is overwhelming, for within the 57-meter tall hall stands a 15-meter high Buddha. The head alone is 5 meters tall. The bronze Buddha dates back to 710, but the present building was rebuilt in 1709. At the other end of the park are Sika deer, protected because they are regarded as sacred messengers of the gods. You can buy biscuits to feed them, and so the deer have learned to bow. But as this notice says, beware of the male deer. They are wild animals and can occasionally attack people, especially if they think you've got biscuits. Oh, one bit me on the bum, said Angie. And so our party of 28 made its way back to the coach to drive to a Japanese restaurant for lunch. There was often a cast iron skillet in which to cook the raw meat or chicken, and small dishes containing we knew not what. After lunch, we drove back to Osaka. Osaka Castle is one of Japan's most famous landmarks. It's built on a man-made wall and surrounded by a moat. It's 8 stories high. The building's been destroyed and rebuilt many times, and the present building dates from 1931. And so back to the hotel. Next day we're leaving Osaka to stay for the next 2 nights in Hiroshima, but we're breaking the journey in Himeji. We could see our first destination as we approached the town. Himeji Castle dates from 1333 and miraculously escaped the bombing of World War II. Many say that the structure resembles a white egret taking flight. But it's built on a hill, and so, as Yuki pointed out, is not kind to tourists, with many steps inside. It's mandatory here to take your shoes off before going in the castle. You must take your shoes off. There's nothing much inside these old castles, only a few artifacts. We decided not to risk climbing the steep steps to high levels in our stocking feet, because the views from this level were fine. In 1966, Himeji Castle was used as the ninja training school in the James Bond film You Only Live Twice. Next door is a garden full of history, nature and romance. This is the Koko N Garden, opened as recently as 1992, but it's based on the Edo style of the 17th century. This garden is characterized by its extravagance, which is in sharp contrast to the Zen-influenced gardens which came before. And we'll be going to a Zen garden later in the tour. We just had time to admire the beautiful floral displays. It's a 3.5-hour drive to Hiroshima, but Yuki has something planned to pass the time. Origami, which began easily enough, and then Yuki said, "This next part is very difficult," so we had to have help. We were making paper cranes, the significance of which would be revealed tomorrow. And so we arrived in Hiroshima, and another high-rise hotel. From our room, we could see the outlying islands, our destination tomorrow afternoon. Our room is very comfortable, and it comes complete with the essential Japanese toilet. But this one has a warning on the lid. Essentially, don't sit too long and risk burning your bottom. The next morning was to be very emotional. We were going to Hiroshima Memorial Peace Park, and what follows you might find upsetting. Hiroshima. The A-bomb dome is the classic image. On the 6th of August 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb. In the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum is an animated depiction of the devastation it caused. 200,000 people were killed instantly, including Yuki's auntie working in a factory. 140,000 died before December, and many more died afterwards from leukemia and cancer. The devastation covered an area of 1.5 kilometers, but Yuki's mother was lucky because she was 2.5 kilometers away. The skin peeled off many people and hung like a kimono. Yuki's mother said that many jumped into the river, which became full of blackened, burned bodies, emitting a terrible smell. And so to the paper cranes we made yesterday. The crane is a symbol of longevity. Sadako Sadaki, aged just 2, thought that if she made 1,000 paper cranes, she would get better. She died of leukemia when she was just 12 years old. So we placed ours with the thousands of others on the memorial. A photographer of the time wrote, "Their hair was scorched and frizzy. Their whole bodies were badly burned. The scene through my viewfinder was blurred by tears that streamed down my cheeks. This was hell." The A-bomb was the largest man-made explosion the world has ever known. We've just been in the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, and the images in there are just harrowing. It's something that everyone should see. Fortunately, Hiroshima has risen from the ashes and is now a powerful symbol for peace. Yuki told us that after the nuclear explosion, the trolley cars saved many lives. All the roads were blocked, and so gangs of men worked for 3 days to restore the railway lines so the trolley cars could get food and water in and help the injured out. After a somewhat upsetting morning, we were glad to take the ferry across to Miyajima Island. It's particularly busy everywhere today because there's a big cruise ship in, and it's spring equinox day, when lots of Japanese people visit the graves of their ancestors. As we walked down the main street, Yuki described unfamiliar foods.
Japanese pancake, not sweet, and there's a noodle inside, and the sauce is very delicious.
We're going to visit the Itsukushima Shrine. It's said that when you pass under the Torii Gate, you will be purified. And here are messengers from the gods. But out at sea is a rather special Torrigate, for at high tide it appears to float and is therefore one of Japan's most iconic sights. It's painted vermilion, believed to ward off evil spirits and disasters. And here, with an entrance fee, is the Itsukushima Shrine. Worshippers drop a coin in the box, bow twice, 2 claps of the hands, pray, and bow again. On Miyajima Island, no births or burials are permitted to preserve the island's sacredness. As we head back to the hotel for dinner, it's certainly been a day to remember. Next morning there was excitement in the air at Hiroshima Station. We're about to take the Shinkansen, known as the bullet train because of its speed. They're always on time, and despite the fact they've been around for over 60 years, you still feel as if you're in the future. Our 1 hour, 40-minute journey will take us to Kyoto for the next 2 nights. Yuki told us to keep behind the yellow line on the platform to avoid delaying the train. But in filming the previous train leaving, we failed to notice the yellow line at right angles, which we had crossed. That's why the train is hooting, and why the lady attendant had run towards us, waving her arms and blowing her whistle. We were completely oblivious to this, but the train did leave on time. And this is our train. It is a magnificent sight.
This train is completely non-smoking.
The bullet train can reach speeds of 675 miles per hour with the help from magnetic levitation, but it now runs at just 200 miles per hour. The Chinese system runs at 1 centimeter above the track, but here in Japan it's 10 centimeters, so that with occasional earthquakes in Japan it avoids the train hitting the track. There's no room on these trains for our luggage, so it's gone by road.
Please be ready to get off before the train stops. Thank you.
Arriving in Kyoto, the bus will take us to the Roanji Temple Garden. Now we're going to see a garden which at first sight you might think is a bit odd. It's a Zen garden. The gravel is carefully raked every morning, and here are 15 craggy stones surrounded by moss, almost randomly. But there's nothing random about them, because 15 is an important number in Zen. It signifies completeness, since the Buddhist world contains 7 continents and 5 oceans. But from any perspective, you can only ever see 14 stones, a reminder of human imperfections. There's a lot of people at our next location, and with good reason. For this is the stunning Golden Pavilion, the Kinkakuji. It's a Buddhist temple which sits over a pond in a classical garden. The original dates back to the 14th century, but this is an exact replica due to an arson attack in 1950. The 3-story structure is covered in gold leaf and topped by a bronze phoenix. Within the grounds is an amazing tree. It's over 500 years old, and with the branches supported at an angle, it's still one complete tree. Kyoto was Japan's ancient capital. It is the yin to Tokyo's yang. a city where Japanese people come to see Japan. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and already the coach park is full as we join the crowds to visit the Kiyomizu-dera temple. We always start with a walk from the coach, and this is uphill. Yesterday's golden temple was a rebuild, but these buildings are original from the 17th century.
Please look down, and you can see water. You can see green streams, and you can drink the water. And the left side is for education, and the middle is for love. And the right side is for longer life.
But you must only choose one. It's called the Pure Water Temple, founded on the site of the Artawa waterfall. Here at the Kiyomizu-dera temple, pilgrims have prayed for more than 1,000 years, and legend says that if you jump off the stage and survive the 13-meter drop, then your wishes will come true. Kyoto was lucky to escape the bombing in World War II, and so it's home to 1,600 temples, 400 shrines, and 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, more than any other city in the world. Next it was time for a nice pot of tea, but not as we know it. The lady on the left is the tea master, who will first clean the utensils. Tea was introduced from China in the 19th century. It takes 10 years to become a tea master, and even then you are always learning. Before drinking, the guest is given a sweet wagashi, which she cuts into 4 pieces. The combination with the bitter green tea creates an harmonious balance of flavours. The green tea powder is mixed vigorously with the hot water, and eventually the cup is presented to the guest. Before drinking, you turn the cup twice clockwise. And when you drink, it's better to make a slurping sound. Then you turn the cup around twice, anti-clockwise. And so you return the cup to the tea master. Then it was our turn. The wagashi was delicious. And then it was time for the tea. But I'm afraid it was definitely an acquired taste. After lunch, it was another good walk from the coach, but we'll see the highlight of the day. And washing hands is common practice before entering the sacred space. Renowned the world over, this is the famous Fushimi Inari Shrine, where thousands of vermilion torii gates frame a scenic pathway up the mountainside. All the gates have been donated, and there are over 10,000 of them which stretch right up the mountainside. It's believed that if you own a torii gate, it will bring you good fortune. The larger the gate, the more expensive it is to buy. It's the mountain, Mount Inari, which is being worshipped. Inari is the Shinto god of rice, and foxes are thought to be Inari's messengers, hence the statues. This one carrying a ball symbolises wealth, and with a scroll, knowledge. Kimono rental is very popular in Japan and quite reasonably priced. After our 2 nights here in Kyoto, next day it's a 4-hour drive to Kanazawa, where we'll stay just 1 night. As we got into the mountains, there were signs of snow. I was intrigued by the graphic road signs like this one. And here's another. And I lost count of how many tunnels we drove through day by day. Before long, we were travelling along the coast, and that is the Sea of Japan. After a couple of previous stops, it was time for lunch. Raw fish, meat and vegetables had been carefully laid out, with the cooking pot centre stage. And this restaurant had robots to assist. Our first visit today was to the ancient site of a wealthy samurai family. Shows historically prohibited. It's something that we've now become quite used to. Inside, the drawing room has thick sliding doors with grand landscapes, and the rosewood has elaborate designs. There's also a small private garden. In the street nearby, we were fascinated by this tree, which had all of its branches supported in case of snow. The Kenrokuen Garden, one of the great gardens of Japan. Its name means Garden of the 6 Elements, which refers to the 6 ideal qualities of a garden. First, there's spaciousness. Then there's seclusion, perhaps a quieter area. Antiquity. It's all around, like in this amazing tree. The roots have been deliberately exposed to show the power and energy of the tree. The 4th element is creativity. Just take a moment to enjoy the beauty of this scene. The next element is flowing water. And finally, the ideal garden should have scenic views. What a beautiful place. Do you know, I just fancy an ice cream, and they do special ones here. This is an edible gold leaf ice cream. Can you believe it? It was lovely too. However, it's another hotel and another Japanese toilet.
Toilet instructions. Sit down on the seat. Some cold water will automatically flow into the toilet bowl. When the ready light turns off, the spray and bidet are ready to be used. There's a warm seat switch on and off. The pressure can go up or down, and yes, there's a spray or stop button. All very convenient.
Next day we were driving up into the mountains again, bound for Takayama for the next 2 nights. But we're stopping at Gokayama on the way, and later at Shiwakawago. There's much more snow up here. You could almost be in Switzerland. Our first stop is in Gokayama, where we're going to try our hand at making paper. We were split into 4 groups, and you had to put your name in a little pot of coloured papers. We then gathered round a trough, which looked as though it contained a thick, glue-like substance. It's actually made from bark fibres. The instructor then began.
And scoop and shake like this.
はい、じゃあ一度やってみます。見ててくださいね。はい、枠の横をしっかり持ちます。
And so please hold
はい。
like this.
で、この枠は立てますね。
Vertically.
はい。で、たっぷりと水をすくいま
And
す。
so please
で、揺らし
scoop
ます。
much water and
縦、横っていう風にね。
and so gradually filtered. And so the materials only will be left. And so please wait until this one is not moving.
はい。そうするとこれでもう和紙ですね。
And the washi is made.
和紙ですよ。これ和紙。
Already washi is made.
はい。
Same process 3 times.
はい。3タイムですね。2 or 3? はい。で、完成するんですが、これで
And so the first group began. At the second table, we put our names on the corner of the frames, and the coloured papers onto what would become 3 postcards. The staff then gave them another coating with the glue-like material, and then it was on to the quick dryer. And then they were hung up for the final drying to take place. It was all very well organised and great fun. The finished articles will be delivered free of charge to the gift shop some 20 minutes later.
Arigato.
We set off to have lunch, and our next stop would be in Shirakawago. I was surprised to see some road signs in English, and Yuki said that this had happened only in the last 10 years, when the Japanese government decided to encourage foreign tourism. And this is the village. We've come to see these traditional gasso-style farmhouses, many of which are over 300 years old. The thatch roofs are tilted at a steep angle to prevent the accumulation of snow in winter, and the attics are spacious so that they could cultivate silkworms. The houses are made from cypress wood. We spotted a house that was being rethatched. As we walked around, I was reminded how important Zen is to the Japanese. For here, in this gentleman's toilet, there's a small garden. Anyway, it's time to move on to our Takayama hotel.